Hello, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Shelly Meyer, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. If you're watching this, you might be preparing for breast reduction, or maybe you're already in the healing process. Either way, I just want to take a moment to say that I'm really glad you're here. There's a lot of noise out there about what you should buy or do or feel after surgery. And honestly, it can get overwhelming fast. So today I want to simply share what actually helped me during my recovery, the things that I used and leaned on day to day. Just the simple, supportive things that truly made a difference for my body and my heart. If that sounds helpful, let's settle in and I'll walk you through it. Let's start with one of the very first things I used, something that was part of my pre-surgery prep. This is something I used just before surgery. Cleanse Antiseptic Skin Cleaner. I picked up the small bottle on Amazon for about $9. You really only need a small bottle because you'll typically use it just the night before surgery and the morning of, unless your surgeon tells you otherwise. That's what most surgeons recommend. And just to be super clear, this is not something you'll be using on your incisions afterward. Surgeons don't recommend that, and using it after surgery can actually do more harm than good. So this is really just a simple, helpful prep step before surgery. So grab a small bottle and follow your surgeon's instructions. And that's all you need for this one. The next thing I want to mention is throat lozenges. And this is something you'll definitely want to have before surgery. I found that having throat lozenges on hand was really helpful. I had IV anesthesia, so I was not intubated, but I still felt like my throat was dry when I came home. I ended up sending my husband to Walgreens to get some, and they really helped. I found that I just enjoyed sucking on them. They made me feel better. And if you're going to have general anesthesia and be intubated, you may come home with a very sore throat. So I would definitely recommend picking some up ahead of time. It's one of those small things you don't always think about, but I was really glad to have them. Something else that I picked up before surgery, and I'm glad I did, was a box of disposable gloves. They were about $7 for the box, and they were really handy to have. I honestly didn't need too many of them, but when I was dealing with the drains, it was good to keep everything clean. My surgeon didn't have me changing any surgical tape or bandages. I had surgery strips on and those were to stay on. But when we'd have to strip the drains and dump them, I used gloves then just to make everything stay clean. And not knowing what your experience is going to be, I would say pick up a box just to be on the safe side. Staying sterile is important when dealing with your incisions. Now moving into the first few weeks after surgery. One thing that really helped me stay comfortable and clean was having some good body wipes on hands. The ones that I used were extra moist body wipes from Cleanse. During that first week when I was mostly sponge bathing, they really helped me stay fresh and clean. I didn't shower until day 5, and having these on hand made such a difference in those early days. They were about $27 for a pack of 50, and I really liked that they were extra moist. They didn't dry out, and the larger size made them so easy to use. It's such a simple thing, but having these made the first part of recovery so much more comfortable. Another thing I used in those early days before I was ready to start using my own soap were these rinse-free bath sponges. The ones I used were Scrubs rinse-free bath sponges. I picked them up for about $18.98 on Amazon for a pack of 2. They come preloaded with soap and you simply add water to activate them. I used these for the first couple weeks until I started getting a little rash on my stomach from the steri strips, so I stopped using them. But these were really helpful in the beginning because when you feel like you can't get your body rinsed off really well, it just gives you peace of mind knowing that it's okay if you don't completely get rinsed. Because those first couple weeks, the showers are a little more difficult. I would use those and then I would use the bidet to try to rinse the armpits. But if I didn't get it rinsed really well, not a big deal because this was rinse-free soap. I would definitely recommend these for that early stage. They really help give me that little bit of peace of mind. I mentioned that I stopped using the rinse-free bath sponges, so what I used instead was disposable towels. I use these with my own soap. You just take them out of the package and wet them in the shower. These disposable towels really came in handy. They just made me feel like I was using something clean, which gave me peace of mind. I didn't like the thought of using my scrubber thing in the shower over and over again. And for some reason, a regular washcloth just didn't feel right to me either. So having these disposable ones, I would just open it up in the shower and I knew it was sterile and clean and it just gave me peace of mind. Those were about $12.88 on Amazon. It was a pack of 30 and I only needed one pack of them. That was plenty. Next, I want to share a few comfort items that really helped me throughout my recovery. One of the first things I used was a wedge sleep system. I bought the Hand Sleep 6-piece orthopedic bed wedge system, and it was about $70 on Amazon. I thought I would need all 6 pieces, but honestly, I didn't. I mainly used the wedge behind me for sleeping and one piece under my knees. And that piece under the knees made such a difference. It takes the pressure off your back. And for me, it really helped keep my rib pain under control. If I didn't use it, my rib pain would flare up. But when I used it, I slept so much better. I ended up using the piece under my knees for about 2 months. It really took a while before I was ready to sleep without it. These are memory foam, but they do have a little firmness to them. And honestly, that firmness helped in those first few days. I do think the system helped me get more comfortable because regular pillows just don't have enough firmness to support you well. And I used it in conjunction with the pregnancy pillow, which gave me that arm support. And I'll talk more about that next. You can use these wedge pieces in so many ways, and I still use them to this day. So you definitely don't need all 6 pieces. A 4-piece set would probably work just fine. So now moving on to the pregnancy pillow that I mentioned. This was something I added that really helped me get more comfortable. This pregnancy pillow was about $27 on Amazon, and honestly, I almost didn't buy it. I had already bought the sleep system, and I thought I really don't need that too. But my hairdresser had a mastectomy and told me that the pregnancy pillow made all the difference in the world to her. After hearing that, I decided to go ahead and get one, and I'm so glad I did. It made me so much more comfortable. I still use it to this day. It's just nice to have in my bed when I want to kind of sit up and get comfortable. In those first days, I used the sleep system blocks along with it because those blocks are firmer and help keep you propped up, but I needed something for my arms. So I'd put the pregnancy pillow behind me and wrap it around so that the arms could rest on it. And that was super comfortable. Later, when I was able to remove the sleep system, I would just use the pregnancy pillow around my pillows. I usually use 2 pillows underneath it to help me stay slightly elevated because if I laid too flat, I would stretch my rib and make it hurt. It also gives you that feeling of being just slightly on your side. When your body still needs to stay mostly on your back, which my surgeon told me I could sleep however I was comfortable, but it took a while before could fully lay on my side. But this pregnancy pillow helped bridge that gap and made me feel so much more comfortable. Now, let's talk about some of the support items I used, like ice packs. These Elite Hood ice packs were about $17 on Amazon, and I used them in several different ways. First, you never want to put ice directly on your incisions. That's not what you do with these. But they were really helpful for putting on my upper chest, not on my breasts, but up higher on my chest. I found that I would often feel hot and uncomfortable, especially when trying to rest or sleep. And placing a cool pack on my chest just really brought comfort. Before bed, I would prepare them with some cold water from the melted ice, or sometimes just add cold water. That way, if I woke up in the night feeling hot and uncomfortable, I could easily grab one and the cold would help me feel better and it would help me go back to sleep. Even just sitting around the house, I don't know what it was about having an ice pack on your chest, but it just really made such a difference in helping me feel more comfortable. And once I was further along in healing, when my skin started to itch, these really helped with that. It's not just the incisions that itch, your skin itches too. My sternum itched so bad at one point, and the only thing that would help was ice. I loved having this set of three because I had them in different rooms wherever I was sitting or laying down. And I loved that they were reusable. I could just add ice or cold water, however I wanted to use them. Ice is really underrated. It made a big difference in my comfort. But just remember, don't put it directly on your incisions. You don't keep it on your skin too long. Another item that helped me feel more secure during recovery, especially in the car, was my mastectomy pillow. The one I purchased was about $39.99, and it came with a little seatbelt pillow and an ice pack. And honestly, I didn't really use those extras. I found that the seatbelt pillow actually put more pressure on my chest, which wasn't comfortable. And the ice pack insert wasn't something I ended up needing. So, because of that, I would recommend just getting the mastectomy pillow alone. You really don't need all the extras. If you want to get one without the extras, it would be around $33. I didn't end up using it much around the house, but in the car, it was a lifesaver. My surgeon's office was about 45 minutes away, and this pillow made the drive so much more comfortable. It just gave me that little extra security so the seatbelt wasn't sitting directly on my chest. Later, I had to take a 5-hour road trip for an emergency. And again, this pillow made a huge difference. It does have a strap you can snap around yourself. And honestly, I would just lay it across me in the car and that worked fine. It also has little pockets where you can tuck your phone or smaller things, which was really handy. Definitely one of those items that gave me more peace of mind in the car. But you can use a regular pillow too. That would work just fine. Now let's talk about bras and padding, which were really important parts of my recovery and comfort. I want to start by talking about surgical compression bras because this is what you'll usually come home from surgery wearing. Most surgeons will send you home in a surgical compression bra, but typically you'll only get one. So I really recommend buying an extra one or two. I found these Side Dream zip front closure bras on Amazon for about $19.99, and they worked really well for me. Now, one thing that confused me at first was sizing, because you really don't know exactly what size you'll be after surgery. What I found is that it works best to order the size you are right now before surgery, because these are compression bras and you'll probably have some swelling. Ordering your current size should give you a good fit for those early weeks. Later on, you might need to size down once the swelling goes down, but this worked perfectly for me in the beginning. Both of the styles I bought had Velcro at the shoulders, which made it easy to insert the pads, and they both had a zip front closure with hook and eye closures inside, which helps bring the bra together and makes it easier to zip up. One of the styles had a pleated design that gave it a slightly more feminine look, but just keep in mind that those pleats can show through some tops. So I kind of prefer the one that doesn't have the pleats. But either way, I was really glad I had a couple of these bras on hand. It just helps you feel cleaner and you won't be scrambling to do laundry right away in those first days. For me, having 3 surgical bras total was really helpful. Another bra I want to mention because it became one of my favorites is the soft front closure bra from Fruit of the Loom. These Fruit of the Loom front closure bras were super comfortable, and they became one of my go-to bras once I was a little further along in recovery. They're front closure and do have support, but it's a softer, lighter support. So they're not something I would recommend using right away after surgery. I think I started using them around 2 weeks in, but definitely check with your surgeon about when it's okay to switch from your compression bra to something softer. The surgical compression bras they send you home in are helpful for those first couple weeks, but they are not the most comfortable. So once I could start wearing these softer bras, they were amazing. They're also very affordable, about $23 for a 3-pack on Amazon. Of course, prices can change. And they've stayed my favorite go-to bras for around the house and for sleeping because they are just so comfortable. Next, I want to mention the pads I used, which made such a difference for comfort. They were about $9.50 a box, very affordable and really worth having on hand. These abdominal pads were so helpful. I really used a lot of them throughout my recovery. Even though I didn't have any drainage, I still used them inside my bra for padding and comfort. There's just something about having a little padding that makes you feel more secure. And I also use them down by the suture line to separate the bra from the sutures. When the bra sits right on your sutures, it can feel really uncomfortable. And so these pads just created that right amount of separation, and it just made things so much more comfortable. I went through about 2.5 boxes of these, so I recommend getting at least a couple of boxes to start with. Next, I want to share a few supplements that really supported my recovery and helped me feel my best. I used Heal Fast, Arnica, and then some vitamins, both before and after surgery. And I really do feel they made a big difference in my healing. I purchased both Heal Fast post-op and Heal Fast pre-op. At one point, I started feeling like I was regressing, and my rib pain started getting worse after it had been manageable. When I went back through my journal, I realized it had started getting worse after I stopped the Heal Fast. So I went back on it, and my rib pain improved again. So I ended up going through 3 bottles of Heal Fast, and I kept using the Arnica as well. I really believe this combination helped keep my rib pain under control and also supported faster healing. I shared this in other videos, but I had hardly any bruising. And the little bit of bruising I did have skipped that dark purple stage entirely. It went straight to pale yellow and was gone very quickly. It also really helped keep the swelling down. I had no tenderness in my breasts at all during recovery, which I think was partly due to my carnivore diet, but also to these supplements. In addition to Heal Fast and Arnica, I also took vitamin D3 with K2 and liposomal vitamin C. I took these before and after surgery, and I really feel those made a difference as well. Now, another little item that surprised me and how helpful it was this little simple portable bidet. I picked up this portable bidet for $9 on Amazon. At first, I thought I would need it for going to the bathroom in case I couldn't reach to wipe, but I actually didn't have any trouble with that. But what I did end up using it for was in the shower. I could wash my armpits, but I couldn't really lift my arms up to rinse them. So I used the bidet to squeeze water up there, and that worked perfectly. I also used it to help rinse the front of my chest, especially to get any soap off gently without the pressure of the shower water hitting directly. So surprisingly, this ended up being one of the best purchases I made. I didn't use it the way I thought I would, but I definitely used it and was really glad I had it on hand. And one of the last little items I wanted to mention is stool softener. I did purchase some stool softener, but I actually didn't end up needing it. And I really believe that's because of my carnivore diet and the way I eat. Normally, I only go to the bathroom about once a week. That's just what's regular for me because I eat such nutrient dense, high fat foods. So for me, there really wasn't much change during surgery recovery, and I didn't have constipation. But I do think it's smart to have some on hand because many people do experience constipation after surgery, and it's not something you want to be running out to buy if you do need it. Just a good thing to have ready just in case. So that wraps it up. My list of essentials, these were the things that really helped me during recovery. I hope this gives you some ideas and helps you feel a little more prepared for your own healing journey. I'll also have these essentials linked in the description below in an Amazon list so you can easily find any of the items I mentioned today, and it does support the channel. And if you'd like a little more support, I do have a free guide that goes deeper into nutrition for recovery called Fueling Your Body for Surgery. It's a keto and carnivore based nutrition guide to help reduce inflammation before and after surgery. And when you download it, you'll also get a 15-day daily video series from me to help you implement it and feel supported along the way. You can grab that in the link below. And if you'd like to follow along with my recovery, be sure to stay tuned for my next episode where I'll talk about my 2-week recovery. Until then, be gentle with your heart and kind to your body. And remember, healing doesn't have to look perfect to be real.